The political turmoil and civil unrest continues to persist in Ethiopia's Tigray region, with bombing and skirmishes still continuing in many parts of the conflicted area. The highly devastating conflict is far from over, and Ethiopian federal forces on Saturday claimed that they have captured and killed some of the commanders of the Tigrayan forces, while Tigray's fugitive local leaders say that civilians are protesting against looting by occupying soldiers. A video footage on Friday showed an Ethiopian military commander holding up what he said was the identification of the Tigray People's Liberation Front Getachew Reda, and in an interview with the state broadcaster, the Ethiopian commander claimed that the defense forces 10 kilometers from the hideout of the Tigrayan leaders. A large armory stacked with ammunition reportedly belonging to the TPLF also captured on Saturday. However, neither side gave proof of their claims. This is to tell the viewers that the entire Tigray region is currently witnessing an information blackout. Now, with no internet or phone network, communications have been down and access severely restricted both for media and aid workers. On the other hand, Sudan is currently facing a massive influx of Ethiopian refugees, and over 40,000 Ethiopians have already fled the region and have taken shelter in the neighboring country. The Rukuba camp now shelters over 10,000 refugees. However, with lack of water supply and other necessities, refugees in Sudan's Rukuba camp are struggling to survive. Many of the refugees have also refused to go to the Sudanese camp as they wait to be reunited with their loved ones. Last week, Ethiopian Prime Minister declared victory over Tigray forces when the National Defense Force took control of the regional capital, Mekelle. However, the TPLF leaders have continuously denied PM Abiy's claims of victory in the region. We are now being joined by Samuel Getachew, who is a journalist with newspaper The Reporter. Thank you so much for joining us. How do you assess this current situation?
Well, we did see the image of an army officer holding the ID. The ID happens to be, it's an election ID. As you know, the Tigray region had an election in September that the government rejected, which the TPLF claimed to have won by 100%. So they were holding an ID from the election time, in which they went to one of the houses of the spokesperson of the TPLF, Getachew Reda. They searched his house. And that's what they produced. But the side of the TPLF denies, and many of the leadership have escaped from the Mekelle. That's according to the TPLF. So the accusation and claim and counterclaim goes on, but we've only been able to verify there's only one senior officer of the TPLF that's in the custody of the government.
Yes, I was actually just going to come to that. The entire Tigray region is currently witnessing an information blackout. Time and again, we have heard contrasting statements by both sides. What can you tell us about that?
Well, part of the Tigray region has its internet and its phone back, but it's only the ones that have been controlled by the government, in the hands of the government troops. So, for instance, in Mekelle, we have the internet, but Ethiopia Telecom, the lone government agency of telecommunication, has announced they're going to open telecommunication very soon, but they just haven't said when exactly it will be.
All right, and on the other hand, of course, as we mentioned, there's the issue of refugees. What can we expect going forward on that front?
It's continuing. It has slowed down. There's also an accusation that the refugees are being blocked by troops belonging to either actors. But they're at 50,000 now. These are official numbers from the UN, but there are also undocumented refugees that have headed to the Sudan. So according to the UN, they expect this to go up to 200,000. And even the Sudan is appealing to donors to help them. And the UN has little resources to give them the resources they need, to give them the umbrella protection that they need. Yes. So again, the UN is also appealing to international donors, but Ethiopia is promising to open humanitarian corridors to help them.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Samuel, so much for joining us with all those details.